Hinne folk mycket januarias järum hetton, and thus ember fithnicht, that of full wickted. Ekes driktnes, to us cometh, thana 12th day, tiradie, haleth hertherova, harteth on Britannia. I'm in Andover, Andover in Old English, and this is I'm here for Paul and Rebecca Whitewick's opening party of their new studio. But I thought I'd do a video while I was down here. The place being littered with Iron Age and Roman antiquities. I'm at Bury Hill, which is just outside Andover, in a place called Little Anne, and there's several Annes named in this little valley, and next to a river that is called Pill Hill, and obviously that's the wrong name, that's a new name, and it's lost its old one, and Anne is a really good clue. All the references to Anne in place names around here tell us that bourne was called Anne. Unfortunately, the Saxon charter of this area doesn't call it the Anne, it calls it the Burren, a bourne, which is annoying. It would have been useful, but it's pretty clear how cool things it is called the Anne. It joins another river called the Anton, or Anton. It is that's probably called the Anne as well. The Anne had two headwaters. Probably, I agree with Equor about it. Anton means the farm next to the Anne. Anne is probably British, a Romano-British. Nothing to do with Latin. It's probably British for, it might mean ashes, as in the ash tree. The river of the ashes, and again Equor does a sort of cryptic reference to it in his dictionary. There is a Roman settlement about 30 miles away that people think is about 30 miles away, called the Orna, and I'm starting to look at that differently now. Perhaps it's, which is on the, I think it's on the Test. The Anton is a tributary of the Test. I think I'm looking at it that idea in a different way now, perhaps. But anyway, yes. Now now look, we need to talk. I've been getting comments on on my YouTube channel, and they've been causing me much concern. Now I've bought a book called History of the Countryside, by Oliver Rackham, and it is a very good book. I haven't read it entirely. I jumped straight to the part on hedges, as you would expect me to do. I'm obviously interested in the whole lot of it. He's a medievalist. He also uses Saxon charters, and an ecologist. Yes, I like to think that we're even though his furrow is more professional than mine, I think we are playing the same furrow. But he talks of hooper. You know, I've been doing hooper. It's a method of dating hedges. Now, a lot of you out there, you naughty skeptics, have been saying, no, it's a load of old rubbish. I don't want to see any more comments any more comments rubbishing the Hooper rule from now on. I've now got the evidence thanks to Rackham, who's now explained it. Now he says Hooper counted the tree and shrub species in 227 hedges with historic hedges aging from between 75 and 1,100 years, known from written records, and found an unexpected degree of correlation between numbers of species and age. So if I get any more whinging that Hooper's rule is not correct, that it is just a rule of thumb, that it is pseudoscience or whatever, I'm going to send you to the back of the class where you can sit in silence until the headmaster comes. There is no room on this channel for skepticism towards science. I've now got the evidence. He goes on to say, Hooper's rule has taught us much about the history of hedges, sometimes been applied uncritically, and then when exceptions are found has fallen into unjustified disrepute. The composition of a hedge should be corroborated by other kinds of evidence, which is what we've been doing on this channel. We've been looking at hedges that are named in Saxon charters or other medieval documents, and we've been looking for other evidence such as wood banks and things like this. So, naughty internet, we are, from now on, this is a non-skeptical channel. Bees, one of my subscribers, one of the channel subscribers, asked a couple of weeks ago whether or not slaves who are freed wanted to stay where they were. And that was a question that came off of my my slavery video, because there's a charter, Winflath's charter, will, where she talks about freeing slaves for the sake of her soul, and if her soul was that important, why did it have to wait for her last moments to do the freeing? But you know, never mind that. Well, it is an interesting question, certainly from Roman. I mean, we've got loads of Roman inscriptions where slaves marry their master, and once freed, then marry their previous master, and these are often gravestones of mourning, you know. So there is love in it. There seems to be. You know, we don't know how one-sided that love was, but there seems to be some sort of love in it, and it is a very curious phenomenon. Now, myself, I'm absolutely clear that you'd have to be mentally ill to turn down the offer of freedom when you're a slave. I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't do it. If somebody says, you know, I would make you, you know, you'd be out on your ear with no food, money or anything else, but I'm going to make you free, I think 99.999% people would go, yes, thank you very much, I'm off. And freedom is underplayed by some people. I worry why sometimes freedom is underplayed. But it's very hard for us to understand, very hard for us to get a complete picture of slavery because it's so alien to us. It still exists in this world, but it doesn't exist in our world here in the West. And there was an aspect to it that I didn't get. Now, in Windflath's will, she says, I'm going to free X on the condition she continues to serve my daughter. And the question would be, therefore, well, if you still have to be a servant, you still must be a servant for the rest of your life. What's the point of being freed from slavery? And there is an element that I hadn't considered, and that is a slave is chattel. You can sell them. It is right across the board in Greek, Roman, Anglo-Saxon. You can buy and sell slaves whenever you like. Now, there are different laws that give a certain amount of rights to slaves. Certain city-states in Greece, you couldn't just kill them, but you could whip them. But it's in other places, life and death is in the hand of the master. But so it does. So that is an element that I hadn't considered when discussing this. That now that person, forgive me for forgetting her name, that ex-slave, we know her name, was, even if she was forced to stay with her mistress to serve her, couldn't be sold as chattel, and that is an humiliation and a danger that is no longer something that she had to face.
And thank everybody for the support over the years. It's a wonderful community, and the best thing about it is all of you guys come from different communities yourself, if that makes sense. And it's our community. All you guys have got links to us, but you've also got separate things yourselves. And whether you're YouTubers or whether you're like friends that have been friends for years, it means the world to us that you help us and support us along our little journey. So thank you all for coming and being here. It's very kind. So yeah. Right, Rebecca, your support.
Everybody for your support over the years and just being here and just enjoying the day with us as well. It's been it's great to have you guys here.
So there's like a podcast studio and a photo studio. Are you doing videos here? What's your
Yeah, I mean we've got a little studio in there which is going to be the backdrop. Haven't sorted that out yet. It's a bit of a mess. We just shoved everything in. I can do some audio in there. So yeah.
This is the Paul and Rebecca's podcast room. As you can see, it's got a mixing desk, microphones, and soundproofing. They're really looking forward to doing their podcasting here. But you can hire these rooms apparently.
That's Neil. Hey, someone paid money back.
Are we ready?
I mean, take more than one of it. Tom, I see you're hidden up there, Tom.
Yeah, come on. Anybody else?
Thank you so much. Thank you. The school table was, but they...
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So this is Paul Whitewick's studio.
Paul Whitewick's.
Oh, okay.